and the United States. He is a linguistic graduate of the University of Ilorin, Nigeria, and an alumnus of the School of Media and Communication, Pan Atlantic University, Lagos. He's a member of this noble institute, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. A chairman, distinguished professional colleagues, I present to you this afternoon, Mr. Akande Muyiwa. Thank you very much. You may take the floor, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, VC.
The chairman, EXCO members, council members, fellows, and
sorry, sir, you might
distinguished
have to mute one because it's echoing. You might have to mute
Okay.
one of your devices.
I guess it's clear now.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I want to say thank you to everybody for the opportunity. It is well appreciated. So I want to confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see, but the echoing is still on a little bit.
Okay. I really don't know what the challenge is.
Okay, now I think
I've logged out of the second device. Okay.
go ahead, please.
Okay. The topic, writing a winning sponsorship proposal. And I want to start with the issue raised by the chairman that organizations receive tons of proposals. And this is a big challenge. You can hear me?
Yes.
Please, can you hear me? Chair, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
We can hear you. Yes.
So
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Just basically from my own experience, and I know this also applies to a whole lot of people who work on the client side, because at times I'll go on leave for maybe a week, and I come back the first day I might need hours surfing different proposals from
Still echoing. Still echoing.
That's the challenge. You can mute one of the devices.
I've logged out of one. Okay, it appears there's no echo again.
Yes, I think it's better. Let's see.
Okay. So I could resume and spend first day of resumption hours treating all manners of proposals, from everywhere, different organizations, those who are connected to us, those who don't know us, as in all manners. And whatever, no matter how prosperous and generous a company is, there is still a limit to what you can do in terms of sponsorship and CSR. So I think this, I'll just be sharing from my own experience and from discussions that I've also had with a lot of people who have the function of working on sponsorship. So I will not be doing anything academic, like I've mentioned. I'll just be sharing my own experience and a few things that I've learned managing sponsorship for about a decade now. So this session will cover few highlights, like we'll be talking about what does a sponsorship proposal is. We'll talk about who a sponsor is, then what kind of events will require sponsorship. Then we'll look at some critical issues that can make or mar a proposal. Those are the issues that you need even to attend to or consider before you even write the proposal. Then we'll look at what are the few highlights in terms of content of a proposal that we can consider a winning one. Then what are the sponsorship offerings that are available to offer a sponsor? And of course, I will discuss few post-event activities, what we can do even after our sponsorship proposal has scaled the order. So I'll just dive right into it. Let's start with this. What is even a sponsorship proposal? It is a document submitted by not-for-profit agency, charity, foundation, or event services company to a potential sponsor. It is a sales document. I'd like you to look at that carefully. Those two words in bold. It is a sales document designed to persuade and convince prospective sponsors why they should invest in the event, initiative, fundraiser, or program. A proposal is a sales document. And what do you do in sales? It's just to persuade somebody to patronize what you have to offer. Not only to persuade, to convince. So those two words are very important, and that's what a proposal should do. It should persuade and it should convince. So let's go to the next one. The sponsor. Who is the sponsor? A sponsor is a company that supports an event in exchange for something of value. Please, let's look at the last part of this definition, something of value. The sponsor is not a Father Christmas. As much as the company is willing to invest in a project, in a program, in an idea. But remember that a sponsor wants something in return. And that something that they want in return must be of value. So it can't be just about anything. It's not about anything. It must be something of value, something that they cannot resist, something that will help their business, something that will help the image of their company, something that will help them reach their target audience further, that will help them make impact on their target audience. So as you are putting together your proposal, think of what you want to give in return for the support that your prospects will give to you. And what does a sponsor offers? They can offer funds. I mean, they can give you money. They can offer products, and they can as well offer their services. I'm sure you see in various events, you see product of companies, or you see companies coming around to offer their skill, their services at an event. So a sponsor can offer funds, can offer their products, they can offer their services. So let's go to the next one. What kind of event can a typical sponsor support or put their funds behind? It could be an award ceremony, it could be a conference like the ones we had in Abeokuta, like the ones coming up at Diamond anniversary. It could be a training, it could be a fashion show, it could be a sports event, you know, the Nations Cup, the World Cup, the UEFA Cup. It could be an humanitarian services. It could be a cultural festival, like we have the Ojude Oba, Osun Osogbo. It could be a school competition. It could be a choral competition. It could be media broadcast. It could be boot camp. It could be anything. So the next thing, even before you write the proposal, and this is an area that I want us to pay a particular attention to, because this will make or mar our proposal. The area, the session I want to talk about now, to me, is what I consider even the most important of all the things I'm going to say this afternoon. So before you write the proposal, what are the things that you need to put into consideration? Number one, you must research. And what are you researching? Research the company you are targeting. You must research, you must know about that company so that your proposal will be strategic. So that the proposal will not be treated like what Madam Chair said, that a lot of proposals are abandoned, discarded. Many of them end up in the trash can. So that yours will not be a part of it. Research the company you want to send your proposal to, because many of these companies, they have their own focus areas. No matter how the company, no matter the size of the budget, no matter how big the budget is, almost all the sponsors have focus areas. They have areas where they direct their attention to so that they can have impact. Not every company goes about sponsoring everything. So you have to know what the company you are prospecting, what is their focus, so that the chances of success is very, very high. You know, there are areas like climate change, health, education, economic empowerment, girl-child advocacy, entrepreneurship, culture, sports, entertainment. These are areas that many of the companies focus on, but you must find out exactly what the focus of the prospect is. Because if you don't do that and proposals are sent, the chances of scaling the first order of scrutiny, the chances is very, very low. Sponsors are more favorably disposed to proposals that align with their interests and advanced courses that matter to them. For instance, I don't expect somebody who is prospecting for say a cultural event now, going to say a Microsoft or a Google or an IPNX. So there is the need for research to know about the company, know about their business, know about the focus of the business, know about the thematic areas of their social interventions and sponsorship, because many companies don't go outside of the areas that they have their strength. So that's very important. Research the company. Then, of course, you must also know about the brand positioning of that prospect, as well as their target audience. These are two things you must know before you send your proposal. What is their brand positioning and who are those that they target? Because if the target of your own initiative, your conference, if they don't align with that of the sponsors you are prospecting, that misalignment might be the reason why your proposal will not be accepted. For instance, there are brands who focus on the male. There's a male focused brand, some on female, some youth, male affluent. There are some brands, they are just about the HNIs, some teenagers, children, career women, some they are restricted to city residents, some rural dwellers, some students. And even all of these, you can still drill down further. For instance, if a brand is female focused, what kind of female? Is it the career? Is it the mom? Is it those who are retired? If a brand focuses on the youth, what kind of youth? Those in school, those who are just starting their career, or those who are in mid career. So you must research and know exactly what the focus, the positioning, and the target audience, so that you can bring some kind of alignment. Or if you see that there is no alignment, you just know that such company should not be part of your target. Look at this. I said, for instance, you don't want to send a proposal for a female-only conference on beauty and style to either Mountain Dew or Heineken. You understand? It will amount to a waste of time if your proposal is about women and they'll be talking about beauty and style, but proposal has been sent to Mountain Dew or Heineken. We know that there is no alignment here. Mountain Dew is about fun, is about adventure, is about, that's why a brand like Mountain Dew will sponsor scuba diving, because of their own positioning, because of the persona of the brand and the people that they target. So you must research, know everything as much as you can about the company you are targeting. Because when there is no alignment in terms of their target audience, if there's no alignment in terms of their brand positioning, if there's no alignment about their thematic areas, there will be a problem. Such proposals will not go far. So the next point I also want to highlight here that you need to take seriously before you even write a proposal. You know, while I was defining who a sponsor is, I say it's a company willing to support an idea or an event in an exchange for something of value. Before you write the proposal, it must be clear in your head what you want to, the kind of impact you want to make. Because once a sponsor comes in, it wants impact, so that at the end of the project, you must be able to show that, okay, during the course of this, these are the things we have done in a practical way that have affected lives, affected our targeted audience, that your project has brought us more connection with our target audience. So you must have a compelling message that will make your proposal stand out. And this message must be tied to the impact, the proposed impact of the event. What do you seek to achieve? What are the key objectives of the program, the event, the conference, the show that you are planning? What are the key objectives? What are the impacts that will be made after you have executed your project? So you must show them the unique selling proposition. What do you want to do? What impact do you seek to make? And more often than not, like I mentioned, your USP must be tied to your sponsor's target audience. Sponsor must see that you understand who they are dealing with, their target audience, and you must find a way to connect the impact, the compelling message to the target audience. Then, of course, the next one, this is very, very, very important. While the first one, the one on USP, more or less external, but this one is internal, ROI. Even before you write your proposal, you must be clear on this. And that's why the funding you are looking for, the products you are looking for, so that they can come with their product or the services they want to support you with, you must treat those support as an investment. See your sponsor as an investor in your idea, in your conference, in your show, in your booth camp, in whatever, in your award ceremony. And you know that when there's an investment, the investor wants return. So you must articulate the return on investment that the sponsor will benefit. Like I said, sponsors are not charity organizations. They have the funding, they have the product, they have the service, they have the support, but there is something they also want to benefit from your event, from the sponsorship. So ROI is very important to a typical sponsor. He wants to see in your proposal what the benefit will be to him. So, and it must be something valuable, not anything. And this can be in form of brand awareness, visibility, lead generation, customer acquisition, revenue generation, app download, speaking opportunities, and all of that. So you must be clear. If this company sponsors my event to the tune of 10 million, 20 million, what are the commensurate benefits that I also need to give back in return? This must be clear even before you write that proposal. Then another issue that I would like us to consider is the budget cycle, because at times proposals come when there is no provision for them. No matter how beautiful your proposal is, even if it meets all the criteria we have talked about, is on strategy, the benefit is great, ROI is wonderful, impact is great. But if your proposal does not arrive at the right time, it's not something at the right time, there is actually little or nothing that the sponsor can do. So you must be aware, have an understanding of the budget cycle of the company you are targeting. There are some, they run their financial year from January to December, some run from April to March, but you must have a clear understanding of the budget cycle of the company you are targeting. This will help you to submit your proposal well ahead of time, so that your proposal can be considered, so that it can be approved, so that it can be captured in the budget. Because not many organizations provide room for extra budgetary allocation for sponsorship. So you must understand when to submit your proposal. And this must be submitted well before the sponsor closes its budget for the year. So, for instance, you understand that a typical company financial year runs from January to December. I expect that like 3 or 4 months before then, say September or August of the preceding year, your proposal has arrived, so that towards the end of the year, when the sponsorship manager is compiling and reviewing the project to sponsor for the year, yours will be there, and you can look through, then capture your project as one of the things you will fund the following year. But imagine if your proposal was submitted, say May, for a project that will happen, say June or July. So that can be a big issue, a big reason why many proposals don't scale through. So understand the budget cycle of the company you are targeting, and ensure proposals are submitted like say 2-3 months before the beginning of such budget cycle. Then this is also critical as well. Before you send proposal, it's just still part of what I said, that you must research the company you are prospecting. You must understand the capacity to fund. This company that I'm targeting, do they have the capacity to fund this project? Particularly if what you are pushing is a big ticket project. You must find out whether they have the capacity and the mentality, because these are two different things, the capacity and the pedigree of funding such project that you have. And I wrote something, I said, it might be difficult for a company that hasn't done a sponsorship beyond 50 million to be presented with a 1 billion naira project. It will be a difficult thing for them to handle. So make sure you research the company. Do they have the financial muscle to handle my project, and have they been doing anything around the amount that I'm asking for? So capacity to fund. Then the other one, which I will also recommend, do a financial health check, because at times, because of the nature of business, ups and downs, and find out whether that company at the time you are presenting your proposal, whether they have the financial capacity to fund your project at that time, because such company could be going through a rough patch that can hinder sponsorship. So find out whether the company is doing well, whether it is performing well before you send your proposal, or else there might be an issue with funding. Then this one is also an issue we must begin to pay attention to as people who seek sponsorship. And I call it sponsors' reputation. I don't think it is right that we jump upon every sponsor, or we seek sponsorship from every company. Though I understand the pressure, but it's not always the best. I had an experience sometimes ago when a particular brand, had an agreement with somebody who has a competition, not knowing that the company itself, the foundation, is built on fraud and scamming, and they signed a deal close to about $1 billion to do like an Africa-wide project. But because they didn't do their due diligence, the company has gone ahead to spend money preparing, waiting for the sponsors' funding. Before you know it, FBI issue came in and the project could not fly, and the company had spent close to 100 million. So please, I think there should be an alignment between your brand and the company you are prospecting. There must be an alignment. It should not be everything. If they are not ethical, if they go down, or if things happen, it might also affect you, particularly if they take a big sponsorship share in your project, like say the headline sponsor and all of that. If anything happens to that brand, there's also a rub-off effect on your project, and it might be difficult to explain yourself. So ensure there's an alignment. Don't jump on every sponsor. Some of them are not ethical. Well, I'm saying this because I feel ethics is very, very important. So let's go to the proposal now. So those are the things that I feel are very important for us to know before we even write the proposal. So you must research the company very well, know about their focus area, know about areas where they are working, know about the budget circle, then know about the ROI that will convince them, that will make them sign that check. I must be something of value. Okay, let's go to the proposal now. These are, I'll just list out things that I believe should be contained in our proposal. So I think eye-catching cover, I'm sure we can't overemphasize this, because that's the first thing the sponsorship manager will see. And I can tell you that from experience that many proposals did not even pass this stage. You know, because you have tons of things to go through, you pick a proposal and it appears it was maybe a 10-year-old that did the cover design. You know, in a way, it tells you about what will be the content. So you don't even bother to go through, you just thrash that quickly. So I'm saying aesthetic is important to catch attention. That sponsorship manager has so much to do. So if anything doesn't catch his attention, he will just discard. So make sure that the cover page is well designed. Package, I'm sure we can't overemphasize this to us as communication and PR professionals. Packaging is important. Then after that cover, don't waste time. Hit the ground running with your content. So let the sponsorship manager see immediately what your project is all about. That's why I say the focus. What are you trying to achieve? What is the summary of the project you are selling? What is the focus? What dates is it holding? Then the USP, we have mentioned this earlier. What is the unique selling proposition? What are you selling? What is the impact you are trying to make? Let them come in the earlier pages. Then the target audience, let them come early. Then the impact and the ROI in that order. So in fact, I suggest that all of this should be in your first in your first page, or at worst the first 2 pages. The focus of the proposal, the dates, the unique selling proposition, the target audience, the impact you want to make, and the benefit to the sponsor. Because at times people might not even just go beyond this before they make their decision. Then of course, after you have given information about the business, the proposal, please sell yourself. Let the biography, a short biography of the organizer be there. And I say sell yourself by highlighting your experience, values, pedigree, and your past experiences. Because you need to build trust. You know, not even in this era where people have they have turned CSR sponsorship into a scam. A lot of people have built competence in scamming companies. And my companies have been a victim a couple of times. You know, people come with bogus proposal, you sponsor them, and that might be the last you hear of them. So sponsors want to see that you are somebody that they can trust or an organization that they can trust before they can think of funding your project. And the way you can do that is to share your own experience, share your own value. Then what have you done in time past that you can reference, that can give the sponsor some kind of comfort that you are not coming to scam them. So as the organizer, please sell yourself by highlighting your experience, your value, and your pedigree. Then of course, sponsorship pricing. Don't let that be there very quickly, and like I say, give sponsors options, so that these days you see options limited to, you see gold, silver, premium, and there are no other lesser categories. It's not everybody that can do those premium packages. So give options, including advert, including product sponsorship. Give your sponsors options. Don't box them into those big ticket categories. Then of course, sponsors would like to do further research on your proposal, on your company, or on your person, as well as maybe the face of the company. Please provide details, including the website if you have one, and I guess you should have one. Your project should have a website, and maybe social media handles as well, so that sponsors reviewing your proposal can on their own do independent verification. Then I say use data. Data is very critical in your content. Like if you have done things in time past, show figures that looks convincing. And I say use images, use infographics, good color combination, diagrams. This make the document appealing. You know, there is power in all of these visual images. They tell stories that words cannot tell in fewer minutes. Then I say, as much as possible, use less of text. Use less of text. The sponsorship managers don't have time to read long sermon. That's why I focus on the number 11. Use images, use data, use infographics, use diagrams, things they can see at a go. They don't need to read anything long. So use less of text in your proposal. Then I say, please, before you send that proposal, please proofread the document. An error-riddled proposal will give you away as a sloppy person, not good enough for any serious business relationship. Please proofread your document. Let there be a second eye that will check what you want to send, because most of the time, these sponsors have not met you. They don't know about your organization. Proposal might be the first document that will introduce them to you. And if it's full of grammatical errors, well, I'm sure you know what will be the outcome of such proposals. Then I said, keep it concise. The attention span of your sponsor is very short. I think it's rude. I don't know whether that's the right word to use for you to send a proposal of 10 pages, 15, 20 pages to your prospective sponsor. I can guarantee you that that proposal will never be considered. It will never be considered. In fact, I recommend nothing more than 5 pages. Don't do anything more than 5 pages. And that one should even be in a rare occasion. 3 pages is fine. And I say, if the proposal makes a good first impression on your sponsor and they need further clarification, they can always request for more details, either via a meeting or follow-up emails. But some, they want to pack all of the information, all of the content in their proposal. That's not a plus. Rather, it is like a barrier, because when your proposal is too bulky, it might not get the attention of your sponsor. Nobody wants to spend 30 minutes, 40 minutes reviewing a proposal, whereas those minutes I can review about 6 or 7. So please, and I said, even in your proposal, include a 1-page summary that contains all the necessary information about proposal should be included. So after you have even done, let there be 1 page, a 1-page summary that tells, in case the sponsorship manager does not have a time, is busy, is running to a meeting, what it can take along, a 1-pager that tells every story that you want told, that will contain the most important information, the focus, the ROI, the USP, the benefits, then your contact details. There must be like a 1-pager. When push comes to shove, it can pull out that 1-pager and it will have a fair idea of what your proposal is all about. And I say, build the measurement metrics into the proposal to aid post-event evaluation. Don't forget, we talked about ROI. The client, the sponsor wants to see all of that after the event. Okay, so I also include here sponsorship offering. I'll just go through this very quickly. When you are writing your proposal, what are the offerings you can propose to your sponsor? You know, like I said, I mentioned that they are looking for something of value, and you must give them, you must research them from this universe of offerings that I'm going to talk about. What is that one or a combination of them that I believe, based on the business of my sponsor, based on their values, based on their mission, their vision, I feel this combination will work well. Let's just quickly go over them. We have speaking opportunities. You can propose that depending on the target. If the target audience of your project aligns well with that of your sponsor, it makes it a lot easier. Giving them a speaking opportunities will just be perfect. So we'll talk about branding, session sponsorship. They can brand the venue, they can brand the exhibition booths, then of course event art banners, on-site signs and banners, put banners at your event. Then of course recognition during the opening and closing ceremonies. Of course, social media shout out all through the time of the program. Every time you do anything on social media, maybe you have their logo, you have their hashtag about the company. Of course, VIP treatment, PR and media coverage. Every time you write about the project, the name of the sponsors must be infused somewhere. Of course, marketing, collateral, brochure announce advertisement. I mentioned that. That's also a very key one for many sponsors, because people will take home those brochures, and that's like an extension. Then sponsors promotional materials in gift bags. That's also an offering that could interest some sponsors. Then, of course, I've mentioned the project websites. The name of sponsors must be there. Then, of course, lead generation, depending on the nature of the business of the sponsor. That was why I mentioned that you must research, know what is their pain point, how you can help. It can be app download, it can be customer acquisition. Then I'd like to I have just 2 more slides and I'll be done. So I want to believe that at this level, you have been successful, you've got the money, you've had your event was fantastic. Don't let that end there. I believe after the event, please come back to say thank you. Appreciation is very, very key. You could write a letter to your sponsor. You can present a plaque to them, maybe at the event, maybe on the last day of the event, you present an appreciation plaque to your sponsor, or you could pay them a visit, a post-event visit. And another option is that you could have a reception if you have a large number of sponsors. Post-event, you could have like an event, an appreciation dinner, lunch, to just thank all your sponsors. Then, of course, post-event project report. Don't forget, we have mentioned the issue of ROI. You have promised your sponsors that you will do A, Y, Z. There must be a report at the end of the project that will highlight in a very practical way how you have been able to deliver those ROI and the impact you seek to make. So that post-event project report is very, very important. This is where you show in a practical way that the sponsor has not wasted his money. Don't forget that I said their support should be treated like an investment. That's why publicly quoted company at the end of the year, they hold AGM and they declare dividend for their investor. So this is the time you also need to show your own dividend to your sponsor. And why do you need to do this? Because you need to build credibility. Your word must be your bond. You have said you will do A, B, C, D. When you come back, you need to show. You need to build trust. The sponsor must be convinced beyond reasonable doubt that they have not wasted their time and their money. And that will be shown basically in your report. And you need to do all of these things so that you can open door for subsequent opportunities. You don't want to have a sponsor who will just stay with you for just 1 year or just 1 season. You want a sponsor you will locked in because you have delivered for many years. Okay, so I'll just close this. This is my last slide, and I'm sure we all know the name that I'm quoting here. There was a time I wrote something around this topic on LinkedIn, and Emeka made a comment which brought a new dimension to the discourse. And I will just read it out. I couldn't have said it better, except to add as a 6th point, because I wrote about 5 points then, that people must also learn to manage their expectations. There is nothing binding on an organization to accept your sponsorship or partnership proposal. Be prepared for a yes or a no. Many people have been known to go about bad-mouthing corporate communication heads or their organizations or both for not supporting their proposal. I am often embarrassed when I hear such dissing, even when the so-called proposals did not tick the 5 boxes you eloquently marshaled in your article. Ability to handle rejection is part of the process. So I'll just end on this note that even after you have done all that you need to do, you still need to manage your expectations because of different reasons. Reasons of funding, reasons of economic downturn, performance of the business. Many reasons could make company to say no. Please, when they say no to you, it's not the time to spread false tales about the company or about the sponsorship manager, the corporate communications manager. A no this year can be yes for many years to come. Let's manage our expectation and let's also keep the relationship line open, even when a company says no to you. And I will also add that don't be discouraged. The fact that you don't get in this year does not mean next year that same proposal with a little tweak here and there might not become the chosen one. So please, as people who write proposal, people who seek for sponsorship for our project, I think managing expectation is one of the things, and relationship, because maybe I'll just end on that note. Some sponsorship also come by way of relationship. What kind of relationship do we build with people who are sponsorship managers?
At the moment, I don't have one person.
Corporate communications managers, or with sponsors as an organization. What relationship do we build with them? Is it that we only remember them when it's time to submit proposal? I think that is very key for us. We are public relations professional. We manage relationship, and this relationship that we manage can open doors for us anywhere. So let's manage our expectation. Let us manage those sponsorship manager. Even if the answer is no, next year it could be a yes. So on this note, I want to say thank you to Lagos NIPR, the premier chapter. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our very own Muyiwa Akande. We are seeing so many. I like to take maybe up to 5 questions, commendation, or whatever you have. And I can see Orimolade, your hand is up. You want to say something, or the hand is down? We'd like to take a few questions.
It was more of a reaction,
action.
Chairman. Yeah, but I'm happy to ask a question to Muyiwa. At least we started a joke yesterday, right? So my question goes to us, Muyiwa. In terms of going through the process of sponsoring a particular program or initiative, what happens, especially when the projected outcomes or the make feel good things that the person had said to you that would happen in a situation it doesn't arise? How does one tackle it? Just want to, and again, this is just an open question for us to learn from scenarios of such nature, because you've painted a scenario that it works perfectly. Can we look at a scenario if the supposed outcome doesn't, turn out to be the way we anticipated? Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
I
don't know if we should, yes, take at least 2, 3. You answer them as well. Okay, Ni, your hand is up.
Sorry for the delay. I was trying to reach my mute. I want to thank you, Mr. Muyiwa Akande. Very, very insightful and deep expose. Thank you so much. You have armed me personally. I've gotten so many things from your notes. And mine is just a commendation to thank you. And beyond you, also the chapter. I belong to a number of agencies, organizations, and the commitment of NIPR, especially God's NIPR, the premier chapter, to keep enlightening and deepening the understanding of professionals through these monthly teachings is really, really, really commendable and instructive for others. I want to thank Madam Chairperson and Chairman. I hope I'm not Catherine, for being there, for doing a lot of things behind the scene. It's not easy organizing. And thank you so much. God continue to bless the chapter and lift us up. Thank you so much. Just a commendation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Is your hand up?
Can you hear me, Madam Chair?
We can hear you, ma.
Okay. I want to say that this is a super presentation. In the 24 years that I've organized CSR, well, a public relations forum and CSR exhibition and award, everything that he has said is contained in all that we have done. This is a well-researched paper and actually very well presented. I want to say kudos to the presenter. And I know that the proper official thank you is coming up, but for somebody who is in this area of engagement, I want to say that this is, I want to give 98% to his presentation. Thank you and well done.
Well, there are so many thanks and thanks and thanks. Okay, on the other aspect, Muyiwa, would you want to say something before the overall vote of thanks?
Okay. So if your year gives you 98%, I think it's better to just go and do Thanksgiving.
Okay. Sorry, let me not cut you. I see Mike Nzago's hand, so that maybe you can take that up again in case it's a question. Yes, sir, you have our attention. Mr. Nzago, you have our attention.
No, thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you very much. Muyiwa, thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. Can you throw more light on this budget life cycle in terms of sponsorship? To present a proposal maybe 3 months before the financial year ends so that we can have it have it whether one in the coming year. Because I know that some organizations they have a bulk, maybe a bulk budget for sponsorship, you know. So if for instance the financial year starts by January and by March, and now send the proposal based on one of the brands or what I've just invited. Some proposals are maybe tied to dates, maybe Valentine, Children's Day, this and that, you know. And a proposal on Children's Day on May 27th, represented by September or November of previous year. Is it not too early? You know, I think can you throw more at this budget life cycle vis-a-vis timing for sponsorship presentation? Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you can take it up now.
I can respond. Okay, thank you so much, Madam Chair, and I want to thank you, Mr. Nziago, and I think somebody else. I didn't get the name. I appreciate the commendation. He's my guy. We started the banter on LinkedIn yesterday, so I'm glad he's here. So I'll just start with his question, and I just hope I got his point correctly. So if the ROI promise, they were not the sponsors or the people who have been sponsored couldn't deliver on it. So what happens? Well, see, my own point is this, and that's why I said in my closing remark that we are communication people, we manage relationship. And despite the fact that you have promised, something else could have happened during the course of execution that will limit your capacity to deliver on everything you have promised. So if that happens, it is now your responsibility to open a line of communication with your sponsor to let them know what has happened, be open, be truthful. Let them know why what happened, the reason for your inability to fulfill all what you have said. And if they see sincerity in you, I'm sure they might want to give you another opportunity, maybe the following year, to see how you will how you will perform. So it's more of about managing the expectation, managing the sponsorship manager, managing the sponsors themselves, and be able to communicate when there is a problem. So I think managing expectation is also very important. Make sure that you communicate with your sponsor when the problem arises, and when you are giving your final report, let them know what has happened, and if there's a need to apologize, and I think that will also be fine. So there is no perfect system. Things can happen. And okay, for instance, now you have we understand what has happened in the last 1 year. If somebody plans to sponsor a project to the tune of 20 million, when the agreement was signed, say December last year, okay, I will sponsor for 20 million, and the project will commence, say, April or May. So if you give me that 20 million in May, based on the current economic realities, you will realize that it might be almost impossible to fulfill my promise that we signed in December last year. So I'm just saying, being open is the key. Communicate with your sponsor, carry them along. You know, even when in contract, there's what they call price variation due to some unforeseen circumstances. So I guess communication will solve that problem. Then let me come to the issue of the budget cycle raised by Mr. Nziago. Yes, I will anchor this on what I said earlier, that you should research the company you are sponsoring. I'm sure the internal workings of each companies differ. What works in Coca-Cola might not be what works in Guinness. You know, I worked with a client that when I was on the agency side, by October of this year, for instance, every project that they are going to sponsor for 2025 must have been sorted by October of this year. Every project that they're going to sponsor in 2025, because by between October and December, they conclude everything about their budget. So anything that does not come in within those periods will not be sponsored. That is the way that company works. But just like you mentioned, there could also be companies that they just vote budget for sponsorship. Then people come during the course of the year to submit proposals. Proposals are reviewed, then they get funding. So everything boils down you researching and knowing the company you are targeting. How does things work in those companies? So once you are clear about your prospect, you know their financial, the way they work, it becomes a lot easier. So if you know they have a bulk pack figure for the year, then you could walk in May for a project in August or in June, and you will still get funding. But if it has to do with this company that I just referenced now, if you walk in May for a project in June or July, the only thing they will tell you is that, sorry, it's not in our budget for this year, because their budget is even approved from their headquarters in US. So it's just a function of knowing that company very well and just go by the flow. Thank you. Madam Chair, you are not.
Aha, so sorry about that. I didn't know I was muted. I said I saw a Dorcas hand, Jacob's hand up. Or rather, you do the vote of thanks. And we've really had a good day. And I know that he will share his PowerPoint with us so that we could review it and review it. And if you still have questions, you can send it on the platform. I'm sure Mr. Muyiwa will answer them. And so, Dorcas, can you do the vote of thanks instead? Thank you.
Okay, ma. I'm not sure I know how to properly do a vote of thanks, but I will try.
That is why I want you to try.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Muyiwa Akande. The presentation was very insightful, very concise, very straight to the point. The way you presented the information, very easy to digest. So I want to say a very big thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us. And we look forward to having you next time to share with us. Thank you so much, sir.
You see, you did it. Thank you.
Thank you,
very
Dr.
much. And thank you, very distinguished professional. This is how we keep upscaling, learning more, adding to our wealth of knowledge of the profession and several other matters. So I want to thank you all for attending. Thank you, Muyiwa, once again. And we are proud to have you at Lagos chapter. And we know that you continue to be of service to the chapter and to the institute. Our meeting is not over, but we'll be rounding up shortly. We should be on any other business, and I will want to kickstart it